Paradise isn't found, it's built. This is the theme at the core of Xenoblade 2's storytelling. It's the answer to many of the questions the game poses. In a world of nihilism, war over land and resources, and the objectification and subjugation of people, how do we, as human beings, put in the work to overcome these endemic struggles and free ourselves from suffering? How do we put in the work to live happy and fulfilling lives?
Can it really exist? This Elysium?
Rex is an optimist, or idealist, and believes that there exists an Elysium where people can live without strife or struggle.
Sooner or later, we'll be the ones sinking down into the cloud sea. But up there, Elysium is waiting for us.
Seriously, kid? Elysium? Don't tell me you believe that gaff.
Rex sets off on a journey to find this fairy tale paradise. But looking for a better world, searching for a promised land, isn't the same as working to make the world a better place.
You've seen the capital. You've seen the ships, weapons, soldiers, all poised to invade Mor Ardain. Doesn't it make you want to laugh?
The contrast between Rex's naive belief in a promised land and the cold brutality of the war going on in front of him is a major conflict for the first half of Xenoblade 2's plot. In Chapter 2, Rex visits Torrigoth, a site of ongoing imperialism and political uncertainty. An Ardanian base has grown upon the town like a tumor. Gormati citizens leave their families behind to seek a second chance in Mor Ardain's military. And while Torrigoth's music remains cheerful, though the party continues to banter and crack jokes, a tone of growing disquiet is palpable.
It's all the same. Compasses, valves for ether stoves. Armies need all these things. That bread you're eating, it's made from ruska flour, supplied by the Ardanian government. This world's full of war. Don't matter if you're a soldier or not. As long as you're alive, you're in the war, some way or another. We all got our own war, kid.
My... war?
It's no coincidence that Vandam says this line to Rex just outside of Phonsamima, Uraya's capital city, and a glimpse of the geopolitical conflict between the kingdom and Mor Ardain. After all, it's a chilling reminder of what Allrest is really like. When my friend first reached Phonsamima in her Xenoblade 2 playthrough, this is what she wrote to me. Phonsamima feels like the end of days. The atmosphere is oppressive, the streets are dark and dirty. Every character finds themselves impoverished by the preparations for war. Children find themselves pressed into service. Every scrap of food finds its way into the military's hands. Walking around felt like I was deep in smog. The conflict between Uraya and Mor Ardain is established here within the story's first act, and for good reason. It's to showcase why Rex wants to find Elysium. It's the fight over land and resources, it's the brutal encroachment of imperialism, it's the glacial deterioration of nations, of the people living in them, propagated by powerful political figures.
Why does anyone kill others? Because they're in your way, or because you can't bear the sight of them? You kill because you're weak. But I'm not weak, so I don't need to kill anyone. And I don't mean physically, yeah? I mean in here.
I suppose that makes me weak then. But that weakness is why I'm standing here today.
So you hate them, humans?
No. I hate this world.
Praetor Amalthus of Indol and his nihilistic view of the world are at the core of Allrest's collapse. But he isn't the only powerful individual to come to this conclusion. Consul Dougal and Senator Roderick demonstrate that many of Mor Ardain's top brass are heartless, abusive figures. They don't want to leverage their diplomatic positions to make Allrest a better place. They want to squeeze the world dry. If we are to combat the notion that the world's deterioration is an inevitability, if we are to suppose that it's the system set in place by humans that cause human suffering, it's up to someone like Rex to fight back, to resolve these conflicts, and to figure out a solution that benefits everyone. So once the conflict between Uraya and Mor Ardain reaches a fever pitch in Chapter 5, a well-executed resolution, achieved through diplomacy and compromise, would go a long way in establishing the game's core message. But like a game of Jenga, the writers took out one piece and it caused the whole foundation to collapse. And that missing piece is accountability. In Chapter 6, Uraya and Mor Ardain participate in a political summit, with the end goal of establishing a ceasefire between the two nations. This summit is quickly hijacked by Banna, the most uncomplicated, mustache-twirling villain in the entire game.
It's not so easy to get rid of Banna. Trade guild of Argentum belong to Banna, down to last screw, last drop of oil.
The following sequence of events ends with Emperor Nile abruptly throwing himself into the line of fire. He nearly dies trying to protect the Urayan Queen. And with this sacrifice, this conflict loses any and all narrative weight.
Majesty! Majesty! Your Majesty! Please, no!
Your Majesty.
This is the opposite of a resolution. Mor Ardain is a nation with centuries of imperialist history to its name. And yet its ruler, Nile, is turned into a deeply sympathetic figure. Morag, the Ardanian Special Inquisitor and sister to the Emperor, is a party member, and she seems to care a lot about justice and doing the right thing. As players and readers, we are expected to side with these two characters in spite of the atrocities committed and propagated by the empire they represent. In turn, Dougal and Roderick become bad actors, rather than the representatives of the exploitation that comes from imperialist policy. And the leader of an empire is seen as selfless for committing an act of true humanity.
I can't help but feel that in all the confusion surrounding Banna, our concerns have been neatly swept aside.
And now we find ourselves in their debt.
Who could have predicted such an act of selflessness? Was it just the passion of youth? Or was it...
My liege?
In any case, for now we should keep our troops mobilized while we monitor the situation.
But this wasn't the result of a change in Nile's character. He doesn't start off flawed. At no point in the narrative are we expected to believe that he approves of the imperialist policies his nation enacts.
It cannot be denied that weaponry belonging to our forces was discharged against Uraya. Regardless of any possible reason and circumstance, we are prepared to offer recompense for this grave offense.
Before Banna crashes the summit, Nile offers financial compensation as a form of accountability, which not only indicates that he didn't have a sudden change of heart, but also demonstrates the lack of accountability Mor Ardain ultimately faces following Nile's sacrifice. From this point onward, there is no indication that anything about Mor Ardain's policy or political strategy changes for the better. Tensions with Uraya aren't completely diminished, but they ostensibly stop mattering to the main party, and any future diplomacy happens in the background.
My queen, it's that.
The royal tree. Mor Ardain. Indra. What the blazes is going on out there?
Paradise isn't found, it's built. The conflict between Mor Ardain and Uraya should be a microcosm for this core idea. It's why so much of Xenoblade 2's early game is spent establishing these two nations and how their tensions illustrate the stagnation of Alrest. For this part of the plot to die with a whimper, when it should be an emphatic statement of the game's themes, is a failure of the game's writing.
Just go, Rex! Remember to fight your war!
In his final moments, Vandam tells Rex to fight his own war. I think this is a powerful line, and emblematic of Rex's search for Elysium. But it's a shame that there wasn't more interest in fighting the war right in front of him. Thank you for watching my video essay.